Hi, Jasmine here. If you're wondering what I'm doing laying on the floor, it's because I just shot this video and turns out my head was out of the the frame for the better part of my explaining what I was going to do here. So that's why I'm taking this beautiful reclined position. But what we're going to have a chat about today is about core activation during our core exercises. So I'm going to run through a few common mistakes that I see in my group fitness classes and a few complaints that some of my clients have brought forward with me, and I just thought I'd share it for everyone so everyone gets a great idea on how to execute these exercises a little bit more effectively. So the first complaint that I hear about is neck soreness. So neck soreness happens when we crunch up like this. Okay, so see how I'm rolling through, pretty much my gaze is coming through pretty much to my ankles. And I'm curling up and I'm using the head to essentially lift the shoulders off the floor. So while we're shortening the abdominal muscles, and they are feeling something here, all of our lift is really coming from the momentum of the head coming forward. So to correct this, what we want to do is rest the head in our fingertips, keep our gaze pointed straight upwards, and we're going to try and touch the ceiling with our nose. So the head's just resting in the fingers. You'll feel that your neck is no longer under strain, and you can see that my neck stays in a nice neutral position as we use the abdominals to lift those ribs towards the towards the hip bones. So we're shortening through our lift, clearing those shoulder blades off the floor, like so. The head stays nice and neutral. It will eliminate all of your neck stiffness. Okay, same goes with if you're doing, let's say, an alternating side to side crunch, so elbow to knee. What we want to do is lift with the top of our torso and our shoulders. So if you can imagine, we're bringing the right shoulder or the right bottom rib cage more so towards our left hip. So lifting through, this is how we keep our elbows out into our peripherals. We're rolling through the rib cage like so. And we're crunching these two sections together as opposed to bringing our head and our elbows towards our thighs, okay? So we can see the difference in the form there and how we're straining through the neck to sort of try and get that contact. So that's number one. Number two, the other thing that I hear a lot of, especially with our, let's say, leg lowers, when we're working the lower abdominals, etc., is hip flexors feel tight, and again the straining. So what we want to do here is when we're going into a leg lower, we want to push our lower back flat to the floor. Okay, so we're using the abs to push the spine down into our mat, and then when we extend, we don't want to think about the lower. Okay, so everyone wants to get as low as they can with this one, and this is where the hip flexors start to strain. Because as you can see, when I lower back lifts up off the mat, so that's assisting. Hip flexor, you can feel it in there because that's supporting the leg. The abs aren't doing as much as they could be. What we're trying to do is build strength in the abdominals and the core, so there's no point recruiting all these other muscle groups to do the work, to exercise the move. It turns into a waste of time for you guys. So what we want to do is tuck the tailbone under so we can press that lower back flat to the mat, and just extend the leg as low as you can go before the back tries to lift up. Once the back tries to lift up, you've gone beyond your range of motion and the strength that your core can take. So instead of thinking about lower, think about that extension, and as your core starts to fatigue, your back will start trying to lift and assist again. So that just means that we extend the legs a little higher, okay? So keep it pressed down and extend. If you're trying this at home, you'll feel how much more relief you have on your hip flexor, and you'll feel that by simply pushing the spine down into the floor, how much harder your abdominals actually have to work. So I almost sat up then, but I'm going to leave the frame if I do so. I hope that helps some of you with a few techniques and everything to really maximize your core workout. I tend to cue these things a lot in the classes, so maybe if you haven't picked up on that and you've never really known what I was talking about, hopefully this clarifies a few things, and we can get back to work on focusing those core exercises on our actual abdominals and our core strength, because when our core strength crumbles, everything else goes to shit. So it's really important to have a core, because it is the core and the center of all of our other moves. All right, I hope that helps. Stay tuned for my next video, and peace out.